I have this friend who has like really weird, crazy political opinions, and he was actually upset when he found out that bin Laden was dead, and I was like, dude, why the frowny face? Like, this guy orchestrated the murders of a lot of people. He had to go. Street justice. And he was like, I just think the United States should stop focusing on dictators that aren't even in power anymore and go after the real criminals against humanity, you know, like the leaders in Africa that order mass genocide. And I was like, all right, you know, I agree that the mayors of Genocideville need to be dealt with. But Africa? I mean, seriously, there's no oil in Africa, so none of our business. And do you really want to regress like that and start targeting black people again? But we hate brown people now. We need to get on board. And he's like, Andy, you're lucky you're adorable because you're an idiot. There is oil in Africa. There's oil in Africa? We need to get over there and liberate these people. But not like we did in Iraq. That was mean, where we like drop bombs and stuff. What we should do in Africa is we should bring them ecstasy and really good music and just teach them to love each other. And then while they're distracted, we'll sneak in and steal their oil. And he was like, Andy, do you realize you just described what the government did in the 1980s in the ghetto with crack cocaine? And I was like, now I know you're just being silly because there are no natural resources in the ghetto. It's ridiculous. I'm not actually racist. I have a lot of friends from a lot of different ethnic groups. I have one friend, her name is Nadia, and she's actually biracial. She's like one of the prettiest people I've ever met in my entire life. And she told me when she was a little kid, other kids would make fun of her. They called her an Oreo. And I was like, are you sure they were teasing you? Because Oreos are delicious. I'm pretty sure that was a compliment. Is it racist if I prefer the double stuffed Oreos? What if I dip them in chocolate milk? Does that just cancel it all out? I think so. I'm a fan of interracial dating. I dated a Spanish guy once. That was cool. He kept my lawn looking pristine. I dated an Indian guy once. That was fun. His parents owned a 7-Eleven, so I got the hookup on Slurpees. I have never dated a black guy before, not because I wouldn't, but I don't think a black guy would want to date me because I have a really sick sense of humor, and I know that at some point in the relationship, I would find it hilarious to call the police and report that a man of my boyfriend's description had broken into my apartment and was using my shower. I would just think that would be funny. A lot of people think that there's no way that I can understand discrimination, probably because it has so many syllables. But I do, I get it. Like, I get discriminated against on a daily basis. People don't judge me by the content of my character. They focus on the color of my hair. People are always telling me dumb blonde jokes, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't get them. This one guy told me, he was like, Andy, do you know how to kill a blonde? No, tell me. What are our weaknesses? You put a scratch and sniff sticker at the bottom of a pool. Oh yeah, that'll get him. No blonde can resist an interactive toy. But I think your sticker's gonna lose its effectiveness underwater. Took a dumb blonde to find the loophole in that joke. And he's like, all right, I got another one for you. What do you call 5 blondes in a freezer? I'm gonna go with a really disturbing episode of CSI Miami. And I don't like your jokes. Nothing funny about hate crimes. And he's like, well, if you don't like them, you should just dye your hair. This is my natural hair color. I'm not gonna dye it just so you'll think I'll be more difficult to murder. I'm used to people thinking that I'm stupid. I learned very early on in life that if people have a negative perception of you, you can do one of 2 things. You can get really upset about it, or you can use their ignorance against them. For instance, I'm a really bad driver, but I've discovered that I can get away with pretty much any traffic infraction just by pretending that I have no idea what the laws are. Like this cop pulled me over and he was like, yeah, you rolled right through that stop sign. Oh, I know. It's one of the ones with the white trim. Those are optional, right? vehicles only? Yeah, I know. This was an emergency. Grey's Anatomy comes on in like 10 minutes, and I forgot to hit TiVo. Yeah. And I also text while I'm driving, which I know is really bad. Don't do that. The other day I was texting while driving, and this little kitty cat jumped right in front of my car. I looked up just in time to see, and I didn't hit him, and he escaped, but I was really upset because if I had been paying attention, I could have swerved and taken him out. I don't like cats. I don't like cats because cats don't like people. They just use us because we feed them and because they like to rub their faces against us. I have a dog, and I know that if I were to die in my apartment, my dog would stand guard over my body. Like, she would rather starve to death than let anyone harm me. If a cat owner dies in their apartment, the cat doesn't even check for a pulse. Immediately starts eating your extremities. It's true. It's what tigers are for. I'm happy I didn't hit the cat though, because then I would have had to wash my car. It's probably the only thing I like less than driving it. One of the reasons I don't like driving though is I have really poor navigational skills. I think that most ladies do, right? Like, no internal GPS whatsoever. Like, guys got all the really cool abilities. Like, you guys can grow mustaches and you always know where you're going. Like, what did we get? We can like nurture and communicate. Those are bullshit talents. I wish that I could fly and move objects with my mind. Then I could say girl power and mean it. I think the worst thing about being a girl though is that my mind is so illogical. Like, I have no idea what's going on up here half the time. I puzzle myself on a daily basis. Like, I have to constantly fight the urge to cut my hair. I don't know why. I love my hair. Why would I dream of destroying it? Probably so I can cry about how I wish it were long again. And if you've never done that, you're not a girl. I think that it's high maintenance though, like having long hair is high maintenance. A lot of things that we do as women is high maintenance. Like, I can never remember to do my nails, and I forgot the punchline because they look really bad right now. I feel like you guys are judging me.